Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends and fellow dreamer, we often hear people say that life is difficult, that we face challenges, that we go through tough times. But what if I told you that life isn't just about tests and trials? What if I told you that life is a test and each trial is an opportunity to show the world who we truly are? Every day, life hands us challenges. Some are small, almost invisible, like a bad mood, a missed opportunity, or a harsh word. Others are bigger, more intimidating, a failure, a loss, or a pain that seems impossible to heal. But here's the truth. These trials don't define us. They don't get to decide who we are or what we can become. It's easy to feel defeated when life throws obstacles in our path. It's tempting to throw in the towel when it seems like the universe is against us. But it's in these very moments, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, that we discover our true strength. Think of a seed. To grow, it must first break through the soil. The seed must push against the very earth that surrounds it, struggling, fighting, sometimes even breaking. But without this struggle, the seed can never blossom into a tree, and neither can we. Our struggles do not break us. They mold us. They shape us into individuals capable of facing anything. We are not the sum of our failures. We are the resilience we discover through them. There is an inherent power in how we respond to life's challenges. You can choose to let life's trials crush you, or you can choose to rise, stand tall, and walk forward with even more conviction. Every trial is not just a test of your abilities, it's a test of your heart, your perseverance, and your will to keep going. You might feel small in the face of life's biggest hurdles. But remember, the strongest of trees have been forged through the harshest storms. You are not broken. You are becoming. When life tests you, when it pushes you to your limits, remember that you are more capable than you think. Keep fighting, keep believing, and never forget that trials are not meant to break you. They are meant to make you stronger. Life's challenges are not merely obstacles to overcome. They are opportunities for growth. It's easy to fall into the trap of viewing hardship as something that holds us back or drags us down, something that interrupts the flow of our everyday lives. But the truth is, the difficulties we face are often the very catalysts that push us forward. The toughest times bring out qualities in us that we might never discover in moments of ease or comfort. In many ways, life's challenges are like the weight that helps build muscle. Without resistance, we wouldn't have the strength we have now. It's hard to look at a difficult moment and immediately see it as a chance to grow, but that's exactly what it is. When life pushes us to our limits, when we find ourselves facing obstacles that seem impossible to navigate, we are given an opportunity to redefine ourselves. How we approach these challenges, how we choose to respond, becomes a defining factor in shaping who we are and who we become. Growth, in its most profound sense, often happens in moments of adversity. Think about any significant achievement in your life. Maybe it was a personal goal, a professional milestone, or an emotional breakthrough. Was it easy to get there? Probably not. Growth doesn't come from simply staying within your comfort zone or walk down a path that's already paved. It emerges when we stretch ourselves, when we push beyond what we think we're capable of, when we step into the unknown and face our fears. When you look at the most successful, resilient people in the world, you'll notice a common thread. They've faced immense challenges. What sets them apart is their ability to not just endure these challenges, but to transform them into stepping stones. Every obstacle they encounter becomes a lesson, and every lesson leads them to a higher version of themselves. Sometimes the difficulty we face is not external, but internal. It's the battle within us, the fight against self-doubt, fear, or insecurity. These internal struggles can often feel even more difficult to overcome than external ones because they come from within. However, it's through confronting our own weaknesses and doubts that we experience the most significant growth. The moments when we feel the most vulnerable or the most defeated are often the very moments when we are being reshaped into stronger individuals. It's important to recognize that growth isn't always immediate. It's not always something we can see in the moment, especially when we're deep in the middle of a difficult situation. Often, it takes time to look back and realize how much we've learned, how far we've come. The lessons from our toughest moments sometimes don't reveal themselves right away. This is where patience becomes crucial. We have to trust that the process of growth is happening, even when we can't see it in real time. There is a certain magic that happens when we accept challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as threats to our well-being. When we stop resisting adversity and instead embrace it, something shifts inside us. It's as if we tap into a deeper part of ourselves that understands that nothing in life is truly wasted, that every moment, every experience holds the potential to shape us. Look at nature, for instance. Trees grow stronger and taller when they face harsh winds and storms. The wind forces them to dig their roots deeper into the soil, making them sturdier and more resilient. Without these forces, trees would not develop the strength to stand tall. Life is much the same. Without adversity, we wouldn't be as capable, as resourceful, or as strong as we can be. We need the winds of life to force us to grow, to help us develop roots that can withstand whatever comes our way. Challenges push us to discover parts of ourselves we never knew existed. They force us to find resources within that we might have otherwise overlooked. When we face hardship, we often surprise ourselves with what we can endure, what we can overcome, and what we can learn. It's not that we are inherently weak, but rather that we don't always realize how much strength we have until we're faced with circumstances that demand. We discover our resilience when we have no choice but to keep going, to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the path may seem. This process of growth through challenge doesn't mean that we don't feel pain or struggle. It doesn't mean that it's easy or that we don't experience moments of doubt or fear. It simply means that on the other side of that pain, there is something better, something more refined, something deeper. Growth isn't always comfortable. In fact, it rarely is. But that discomfort is a sign that we are being shaped, being stretched, and being prepared for the next chapter of our lives. Another important aspect of growth is the realization that we don't grow in isolation. Often the challenges we face require us to reach out for support, to lean on others for strength when we feel we have none left in ourselves. It is through these connections, through the relationships we build and the help we give and receive, that we grow as human beings. No one grows alone. The most significant growth often happens in community, when we share our struggles and our triumphs with those around us. It is in these moments that we realize we are not alone in our journey. Growth through challenges also involves a shift in perspective. When we view hardships as opportunities rather than setbacks, we begin to approach them differently. We stop seeing them as something to avoid or fear and instead start to look at them as a chance to learn something new, to become something better. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. It turns every challenge into a lesson, every obstacle into a chance for improvement. When we understand that growth is a direct result of the challenges we face, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance. Instead, we begin to see ourselves as the authors of our own stories. We take control of how we respond to life's difficulties, and we realize that we have the power to transform those difficulties into triumphs. It's not the challenges that define us, but how we choose to navigate them, how we choose to grow from them. In some ways, the greatest test of our lives isn't what we face, but how we face it. It's about maintaining hope when the road ahead is unclear. It's about standing up after we've been knocked down. It's about keeping our hearts open when we feel the most vulnerable. Every time we face adversity and choose to grow through it, we become more than we were before. We become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The next time life presents you with a challenge, instead of immediately seeing it as a roadblock or a burden, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? This simple shift in perspective can completely change the way we experience difficulties. It allows us to transform our pain into power, our setbacks into lessons, and our struggles into stepping stones on the path to becoming the best version of ourselves. Because at the end of the day, life's challenges are not there to break us. They are there to build us, to shape us into the strong, resilient, and wise individuals we are meant to be. And it is through this process of growth that we ultimately discover our true potential. Every setback is a chance to rise stronger. When we encounter setbacks, whether they come in the form of failures, disappointments, or challenges, it's easy to see them as roadblocks, something that has derailed our progress or held us back. We often feel frustrated, discouraged, and sometimes even defeated by the circumstances. But the truth is, setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply detours, opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow in ways that we might not have expected. Each setback, no matter how painful or discouraging, carries within it the potential for growth and improvement. It's all about how we respond to these setbacks and how we use them as a springboard for further development. When we experience a setback, our natural reaction may be to feel disheartened or to question our abilities. The disappointment can be overwhelming, and we may even begin to doubt our worth or our potential. However, it's in these very moments when everything seems to be going wrong that we have the greatest opportunity to prove our resilience and strength. Setbacks force us to take a step back, to reassess our path, and to find new ways of approaching our goals. In other words, setbacks are not just obstacles. They are invitations to innovate, to evolve, and to push past our limits. Think about any significant achievement in life. If we look closely at the stories of people who have reached remarkable heights in their personal or professional lives, we will often find that they have faced a series of setbacks before their ultimate success. These setbacks did not defeat them. They propelled them forward. Every failure, every disappointment, every obstacle along the way was a lesson that helped them become more resourceful, more determined, and more prepared for the challenges they would face in the future. One key aspect of learning from setbacks is the ability to reframe them. Instead of seeing a setback as a permanent failure, we can choose to see it as a stepping stone, an experience that will lead to eventual success. It's all about perspective. When we change the way we view a setback, we change the way we approach it. If we can shift our mindset from seeing setbacks as personal shortcomings to seeing them as valuable learning experiences, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We begin to understand that the setback is not a reflection of our abilities or worth. It is simply a moment in time, a challenge to overcome. In many ways, setbacks are essential to growth. Without them, we would not be forced to step out of our comfort zones, to stretch beyond what we already know, or to try new things. Setbacks push us to develop new skills, to be more creative, and to work harder than we might have initially anticipated. They force us to reevaluate our approach, to reassess our goals, and to think critically about how we can improve. And it is in this process of self-reflection and adaptation that we become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Setbacks teach us resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after facing adversity, to maintain our strength and perseverance even when things don't go as planned. Every time we encounter a setback and choose to keep going, we reinforce our ability to endure. Each time we rise after falling, we build our mental and emotional strength. It's not the setback itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. We have the power to decide whether we let a setback break us or whether we use it as an opportunity to rise, stronger and more determined. Another important aspect of setbacks is the role they play in developing patience. In a world where instant gratification is often valued, setbacks force us to slow down and recognize that success takes time. They remind us that progress is not always linear and that the path to achievement is often filled with unexpected twists and turns. Setbacks teach us to be patient with ourselves, to accept that not everything will happen as quickly as we want, and to trust in the process. Through patience, we learn to embrace the journey, to focus on the long-term goals, and to appreciate the growth that comes from overcoming adversity. Setbacks also build character. When we face difficult situations, we are forced to confront our limitations, to challenge our assumptions, and to dig deeper into our inner resources. This process can be uncomfortable, but it is in this discomfort that we develop the qualities that will carry us through future challenges: resilience, determination, patience, and strength. Setbacks push us to grow in ways that comfort and success never could. They encourage us to develop the inner fortitude necessary to weather life's storms. Setbacks are not failures. They are opportunities to rise, to learn, and to improve. Every time we experience a setback and choose to keep moving forward, we build the foundation for future success. The key is not to avoid setbacks, but to embrace them as part of the process of growth. The most successful people are not those who have never faced setbacks, but those who have learned how to rise stronger after every fall. By reframing setbacks, learning from them, and using them to fuel our growth, we become more capable, more resilient, and more equipped to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Each setback is a chance to evolve, and with each one, we become stronger, more confident, and more prepared for the future. We are forged through adversity, not broken by it. This is a powerful truth that can radically change how we view the challenges in our lives. It's easy to see difficulties as something that diminishes us, something that weakens us, or leaves us scarred. We often associate pain, struggle, and failure with a loss of strength or hope. But in reality, it is through adversity that we are shaped and strengthened. Our most difficult experiences don't have to break us. They can be the very things that build us into the people we are meant to be. When we go through tough times, it can feel like the weight of the world is pressing down on us. We may face moments of self-doubt, frustration, and despair. The pain and challenges may seem endless, and it might feel as though we're at our breaking point. In those moments, it's easy to believe that we will never recover, that the struggle is too much to bear. But the truth is that adversity has a unique way of shaping our character and refining our strength. It's not in the easy, comfortable moments that we grow the most. It's in the hardest ones, the ones that push us to our limits. When we look at the most resilient and successful people, we often see that their strength has been forged through hardship. These individuals didn't avoid difficulty or escape from their struggles. They faced them head on. They didn't let adversity define them as victims or failures. Instead, they use it as fuel for growth. Each challenge they encountered helped them develop the strength, resilience, and determination that would carry them through even greater obstacles. Their character wasn't built in the absence of adversity, it was built because of it. Think about the process of creating a diamond. A diamond starts as a simple, rough piece of carbon buried deep within the earth. Over time, intense pressure and heat are applied to this carbon, forcing it to undergo a transformation. It doesn't happen easily or without struggle. The carbon must endure extreme conditions, and it's this very process that turns it into something beautiful and valuable. In the same way, we are often shaped and refined through the pressures of life. We may feel like we're being crushed by circumstances, but it's in that pressure that our true potential is uncovered. The key to understanding this is in our perspective. When we're in the midst of adversity, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, helpless, or broken. We may think that the challenges we're facing are too much to handle, that they are somehow too big for us to overcome. But if we shift our perspective and see these challenges as opportunities for growth, we begin to understand that they are not meant to break us, they are meant to build us. Every struggle we face is a chance to become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever comes next. We are forged through adversity because it teaches us lessons that we can't learn any other way. It's through difficulty that we develop the resilience, patience, and perseverance that help us face future challenges with more strength and confidence. When life doesn't go as planned, when we encounter obstacles or setbacks, it's easy to feel like we've lost something or been set back. But in reality, those moments are teaching us invaluable lessons. They show us what we're capable of, help us discover inner strengths we didn't know we had, and give us the opportunity to grow in ways we couldn't have imagined before. Adversity also helps us develop empathy and compassion. When we face our own struggles, we gain a deeper understanding of what others may be going through. Our hardships give us the ability to connect with others on a more profound level, to offer support and to offer kindness. It's through our own pain that we become more attuned to the pain of others. And this connection to others helps us become more compassionate and caring individuals. Another reason adversity is so crucial in shaping us is that it helps us develop problem-solving skills. When everything is going smoothly, we don't have to think too hard about how to navigate life's challenges. But when we encounter adversity, we are forced to get creative, to think outside the box, and to find new solutions to problems. We develop critical thinking and decision-making skills that help us not only survive our difficulties, but thrive despite them. The more challenges we face and overcome, the better equipped we become to deal with the next one. Resilience doesn't mean that we don't feel pain or that we don't struggle. It means that we refuse to let those struggles define us. It means that even when we are knocked down, we get back up, learn from the experience, and move forward. It means that we trust in our ability to handle whatever life throws our way, knowing that each challenge we face will only make us stronger. We become more capable of handling adversity because we have faced it before and emerged stronger on the other side. Adversity also teaches us the importance of perseverance. It's easy to give up when things get tough, but true strength lies in our ability to keep going even when the road ahead seems impossible. It's through perseverance that we learn that setbacks don't mean the end of our journey. They are just temporary obstacles to be overcome. Each time we choose to continue in the face of adversity, we reinforce our resilience and our determination to keep moving forward. Ultimately, it's through adversity that we become who we are meant to be. Our struggles are not obstacles to our success. They are the very tools that shape us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate individuals. We are not defined by the challenges we face, but by how we rise above them, how we use them as stepping stones to become better versions of ourselves. Life's difficulties are not meant to break us. They are meant to forge us into the people we are capable of becoming. And in that forging, we discover our true strength. Struggles shape us, they don't define us. This is an important distinction to make in our lives. When we face challenges, it's easy to feel as though those challenges become who we are. We can start to identify ourselves with our hardships, as if the difficulties we experience are the essence of our being. We wear our struggles like a heavy cloak, one that sometimes feels too much to bear, but also one that we're afraid to let go of because it feels like it's become part of our identity. It's crucial to understand that while struggles influence us, they don't ultimately define us. A struggle is a temporary state, a chapter in our lives that, no matter how difficult or painful, will eventually come to an end. How we navigate that chapter, how we respond to it, is what shapes us. The choices we make in those moments of hardship, the way we rise from the depths of our difficulties, are what ultimately define us, not the hardship itself. When we face challenges, we often feel as though the weight of the world is on our shoulders. The obstacles in front of us can seem insurmountable, and the road ahead may look dark and uncertain. It's during these times that we have to remind ourselves that the pain, the difficulty, the uncertainty, they are not permanent. They do not have the power to define who we are unless we allow them to. Our response to these challenges, how we choose to move forward, that's where our true power lies. A person who is struggling might feel overwhelmed by the circumstances they are in. They might feel like they've been marked by their pain, their failure, their loss, and that these things are now a permanent part of their identity. But the truth is that these struggles are simply experiences that will pass. The pain may linger, but it does not have to dictate who we are. It is our actions in the midst of struggle that speak volumes about who we are, not the struggle itself. Consider the story of someone going through a difficult time, someone who is facing financial hardship, the loss of a loved one, or a personal failure. For a while, they may feel as though they are defined by that hardship. It's easy to feel lost in the middle of these challenges, as though life has handed us a heavy burden that we will never be able to bear. But the transformation happens when we decide that our struggle will not define us. It's when we refuse to let our hardship be the final word on who we are. Instead of staying stuck in the pain, we find a way to move forward, to heal, and to grow. What defines us, what shapes us, is not the struggle itself, but how we use that struggle to evolve, to push ourselves towards something greater. It is in the act of moving forward, of learning from our difficulties, that we grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Our struggles become the forge that tempers our character. But they are not the sum of our being. They are the crucible in which we are tested, but we are not bound by them. In fact, the hardest experiences often become the sources of our greatest strength. When we emerge from a struggle, we often find parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. We discover depths of courage, perseverance, and resilience that we couldn't have tapped into if life had always been easy. The struggle, painful as it may be, reveals the hidden strength within us, and in doing so, it allows us to rise and become more than we were before. The beauty of life is that every challenge we face is an opportunity for growth. It's not the struggle that shapes us, but the growth that comes from it. A person who faces a personal challenge and chooses to learn from it, who decides to grow stronger in the face of adversity, will emerge from that challenge a changed person. The pain, the difficulty, they will have been transformative, but they will not define the person who walks out of that experience. The choice to grow, to persevere, to rise above, it is that choice that defines who we are. It is easy to be defined by the struggles we face, especially when we feel overwhelmed. We may feel as though we are defined by our losses, our failures, or our fears. But when we choose to see ourselves beyond the struggle, we reclaim our power. We are more than what we've been through. We are more than the sum of our hardships. We are what we choose to become in the face of those hardships. And that is where the true transformation happens. There is strength in accepting that our struggles shape us, but they do not define us. They are pieces of our story, yes, but they are not the whole of it. We are the authors of our lives, and we hold the pen to our own narrative. The way we choose to respond to our struggles, the way we choose to rise from them, will ultimately define the story we tell. When we understand this truth, when we realize that we are not our struggles, we begin to unlock a powerful freedom. We stop identifying with our pain, our failures, or our fears, and we begin to identify with our resilience, our courage, and our ability to keep moving forward. The struggles we face are the moments that reveal our strength. But they do not make us who we are. What makes us who we are is how we rise, how we continue, how we keep going, no matter what life throws our way. Let's remember that our struggles do not define us. They shape us, yes, but they are not the measure of who we are. The way we navigate them, the way we overcome them, that is what truly defines us. And it is in the moments of difficulty that we discover the strength to move forward, to evolve, and to become the person we are meant to be. Resilience is found in how we respond to trials, not in avoiding them. It's easy to imagine resilience as something innate, as if some people are simply born with an unshakable ability to endure hardship, while others are destined to falter when faced with challenges. But resilience isn't a trait you either have or don't have. It is a skill, a muscle that defines resilience. It's not the presence of challenges that defines resilience. It's how we choose to respond to them. It's a skill to have the response to them. It's how you choose to respond to them. We often hear that life is full of trials, and while some people may seem to navigate through their difficulties with grace and strength, that doesn't mean they are immune to hardship. In fact, those who appear most resilient are often the ones who have experienced some of the most difficult trials of all. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain or hardship. It's about facing it, acknowledging it, and continuing to move forward despite it. It's about how we react when life pushes us to our limits. It's important to note that resilience isn't a one-time thing. It's not something that can be summoned in a single moment of crisis. Resilience is a way of life. It's built over time through the countless small moments in which we choose to rise above difficulty, to continue when things are hard, to push forward when we feel like giving up. Just like physical strength, mental and emotional resilience grows stronger the more we practice it. It's is in the everyday moments when we encounter small challenges, whether that's dealing with a frustrating situation at work or handling an unexpected setback, that we develop the tools to cope with bigger challenges when they arise. The way we respond to trials has a direct impact on how resilient we become. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeing challenges as burdens, as obstacles that are too difficult to overcome. When we view problems as insurmountable, when we see ourselves as powerless in the face of adversity, we rob ourselves of the ability to find solutions and move forward. Resilience, on the other hand, comes from a mindset that says, this is tough, but I will keep going. I will figure this out. One of the key aspects of resilience is having a positive mindset. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulty of a situation or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. Instead, it means choosing to see beyond the problem. It means focusing on what we can control, taking things one step at a time, and looking for opportunities to learn and grow in the midst of the struggle. A resilient person doesn't see a challenge as an insurmountable wall. They see it as a hurdle to jump over, a problem to solve, a lesson to learn. Another important factor in resilience is the ability to maintain a sense of purpose, even in the face of difficulty. When we're struggling, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture, to become consumed by the immediate pain and frustration. But resilient people have the ability to hold on to a sense of purpose, whether that's their commitment to their goals, their desire to help others, or their belief in something greater than themselves. This sense of purpose acts as an anchor, keeping them grounded and focused, even when life feels overwhelming. It's the belief that there's a reason to keep going, that this struggle is not in vain, that there's something worth fighting for. Resilience is also about adaptability. Life rarely goes as planned, and the ability to adjust to new circumstances is crucial in facing challenges. Sometimes the path we've set out on becomes blocked, and we must find a new way forward. Resilience means being flexible enough to change course, to try new approaches, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward even when the road ahead isn't clear. The ability to adapt, to accept that things won't always go the way we expect, is a key aspect of bouncing back from adversity. Resilience isn't just about individual strength, it's also about community. Often it's the people around us who help us navigate life's trials, who offer support, guidance, or simply a listening ear when we need it most. No one is truly resilient in isolation. While we all have the capacity to build resilience within ourselves, the relationships we foster with others are essential in strengthening that resilience. The most resilient people are often those who have built strong, supportive networks around them. People who can help them when they are struggling, who can offer advice or simply remind them that they are not alone. Resilience doesn't mean going it alone. It means having the strength to reach out for help when we need it. A significant part of resilience is the ability to maintain hope. In the darkest of times, when everything seems uncertain, it's hope that keeps us moving forward. Hope isn't just about wishing for a better outcome. It's the belief that things will improve, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even when we can't yet see it. Hope fuels resilience. It gives us the strength to keep going when we feel like we can't go on any longer. Without hope, it's easy to succumb to despair, to let our challenges feel insurmountable. But hope allows us to persist, to trust that even the toughest trials will eventually pass. Resilience is a reflection of our character. It's about our ability to grow stronger through adversity, to face life's trials with courage and determination, and to continue moving forward no matter how difficult the journey may be. Resilience doesn't mean never falling down. It means getting back up every time we do. It's not about avoiding challenges or hoping that life will be easy. It's about embracing those challenges as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become stronger than we were before. It's not the challenges that define us, but how we rise from them. Resilience is the strength to persevere, the courage to face difficulties head on, and the determination to move forward no matter what life throws our way.